have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Greg Haidnick. Greg is a member of our research team. He's a scholar here at the Hastings Center, and he's also the editor-in-chief of our journal. Greg and a colleague of ours, Bruce Jennings, ran this de-extinction project and also served as editors for the essay set. I'll pass you to Greg.
It's important to think of it as species. Remember that a species is a set, and it has this sort of internal causality to it. So once the set is evacuated, once there's nothing in the set, it's just gone. You can't. There's not a thing in an underworld somewhere for some sort of biotechnological hero to walk back up into the light of day. And in walking it back up, you're introducing a different kind of causal sequence. It's a human-caused thing rather than the things, the set, somehow reproducing itself. So whatever you want to call it, I think de-extinction is actually not, in almost all cases, accurate. It would be better to talk about it as the creation of a replacement, the construction of a proxy, that kind of thing. And the committee that was convened by the World Conservation Union emphasizes this point as well. That it's actually, it's not really de-extinction, exactly. And another point, and this I think is really where you're coming in maybe, it's really hard, and maybe to the point of being absolutely impossible. There's so much that you have to recreate. You need the right place, you need a place to put it, you need other organisms in the environment, you need actually the right microbiome. We are now usually scientists sometimes think of individuals, all of us, as ourselves ecosystems, sets of relating things. Most of the cells in your body are not human cells, they're actually bacterial cells. And those cells are themselves actually sort of part of you in some way, affecting your behavior and how you go forward, your way of being in the world. So you have to not only sort of bring back the genome of the woolly mammoth, but you have to bring back all of that stuff and in just the right way, maybe, to really say that you've brought back the woolly mammoth. And then on top of that, you have to do this. You have to do more with sequencing, probably, than we're able to do. Beth Shapiro's book, How to Clone a Mammoth, is itself mislabeled, because what she really argues is that you can't do it. You can get something mammoth-like, maybe, what she calls a mammalophant. A mammalophant. But you can't really quite get a mammoth. There's large portions of the DNA, the heterochromatin, used to be called junk DNA, that can't be sequenced with today's technologies. And then there's all the epigenetic stuff that controls the expression of the genes, and you don't get that when you do genetic sequencing. And then you've got to make a lot of changes. And now scientists are sort of backing off their understanding of what they'll be able to accomplish. So the woolly mammoth differs from the Asian elephant genome at 100,000 some spots, I think. Would you make all those changes? Well, what's now being proposed is that you identify a handful of particularly important changes. Hairiness, some changes in the blood that make for better oxygen transportation, stuff like this. And you'd get an Asian elephant that, can sort of replace a mammoth. And then there's, we can go on with this. There's a lot more to say, but it's so hard, it may be impossible. And all this sounds like sort of a factual concern, but I think there's really a kind of a moral concern underlying this. And that is that we might go forward anyway, not getting quite the right thing, and we might decide that we don't care, that it's close enough, and we'll just change our understanding of what counts as a species to include this new thing. And that would be to fail to appreciate something about what it is that we're trying to have a relationship with. We're doing this in order to preserve a relationship with nature, but in the process kind of undermining that relationship. So for all these reasons, No one is thinking of this. Even the proponents are not. We have a couple proponents in our set of essays. No one's really thinking of this as a robust conservation strategy. Mostly, you still have to engage in the traditional work of conservation.